You've played against this Memphis offense 4 years. This will be your fourth game. What's impressed you the most about what they throw at you offensively?
I mean, really just the ability to use pretty much all the weapons. They got good running backs, good tight ends, good receivers, good quarterbacks. So just being able to spread the ball around, you know, run it, pass it, whatever it might be, they're pretty capable of doing it all.
You guys have reached both your goals for the first 2 weeks of the season. Now this big game. How big is this game for you guys? Been talking about during the bye week and now walking up into the days before it, knowing what this team is and what you guys could prove.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our next game is always the biggest game on the schedule. So, I mean, we kind of approach it like that. And then obviously, I mean, they're 3-0 right now, just beat Florida State on the road. So, um, just excited to, step up to the challenge, step up to the plate and be able to put on display what we know we're capable of doing.
And how do you like the challenge personally when you play these high-powered offenses and a quarterback who's now in his fourth year of starting, considered the top quarterback in the American Conference, one of the top in the country?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. The quarterback, especially with the experience that he has, and then the receivers he has, he's not going to be afraid to let the ball go and stuff like that. So me personally, and just all the DBs in general know that the ball will be in the air. So just getting a chance to go make plays on the ball and stuff like that, whenever our name is called, or whenever I guess the quarterback decides to call on one of his receivers, just knowing that we can have a big effect on the game and on plays like that is exciting.
Thank you.
Little note, Hennigan has started for 4 years, but so has Ray. Ray has started 32 consecutive games, which is the most of any safety in the FBS. Wags.
Well, so continuing on that theme, Ray, what is the key to, controlling the very high-powered Memphis offense, in your opinion?
Obviously, I think one of the biggest things is just stopping the run game. Mix it up front, give them different looks and stuff like that, and try to make them result on putting the ball in the air. And then obviously, being a DB, that's like my favorite thing. So the ball being in the air and just going and taking it and making plays and stuff like that whenever it's in the air.
So it's kind of been mixed results against Memphis. A few years ago, I guess it was 2020, they only scored 10 points, but unfortunately, Navy only scored 7. It was a loss. But and then last year, you kind of contained their offense fairly well. But then there's been other years where they put up 35, 37 points. Do you feel like you have something to prove in this game against this opponent?
Definitely. I feel as though every game that we end up playing, we're going to have something to prove. I mean, obviously, defensively, we take a lot of pride in just holding the offense to few points and containing them in that way, and then just the overall team just going out there, playing with our keys, doing what we do in practice on the field, knowing we prepare for every situation and stuff like that, and just taking it to them that way.
With Memphis being the preseason favorite in the American Athletic Conference and Navy being picked to finish near the bottom of the standings, is this a statement game for Navy?
I guess you could say that, but I think the biggest thing is just going out there and putting on display what we know we're capable of doing. I mean, obviously it's a good challenge, but everyone on the team is definitely ready and prepared and ready to take it to Memphis.
So last week we talked to Coach Volker, and he was skeptical of the pass interference penalty that you got, but he said it can't happen. Your take on that play?
Um, it was a tough one. I don't necessarily agree with it, but the ref called it, so I mean, that's okay. Just finding better ways to play it whenever I'm in that situation again, and just moving on from there.
Well, that and there's two, couple close, they reviewed for targeting. Is there a line between being very, very aggressive, which you want to be, and attacking defensively, but making sure that you're not drawing penalties?
Yeah, and actually, it's kind of tough because I feel as though obviously, like in today's day and age of football, offensive players are more protected than ever. So, I mean, it definitely is hard, and sometimes plays are simply like bang bang, and you can't really do anything about them. But obviously, like we go over plays in situations like that in practice, just to like give ourselves the best chance to get out of those situations.
Right.
Pete Medhurst.
Rayuan, where have as you've improved each year, where do you think you've made the most improvement, even from junior year to senior year right now?
One of the big areas is like communication and just understanding how our opponent wants to attack us, and not only that, just understanding like what we're trying to do as a defense and being able to communicate. Especially like whenever we might have young guys or just guys that have never seen a formation before and certain things like that, being able to let them know what's going on or what they're trying to do or what we're supposed to be doing as a defense.
You know the quality of opponent this week. How do you relay that to your fellow teammates, and obviously relay the kind of effort it's going to take to get a victory this week?
Yeah, definitely. Just going out there and practicing hard. Obviously, like our coaches and stuff, like they hit things like that every day of every week. So just making sure we keep our eat up at practice. We focus on our cues. We focus on our pillars and stuff like that, and so that when it comes to the game, it'll translate without us even thinking about it.
It's a big game. You know what it means if you beat an opponent of this caliber. But how do you keep the line delineated from making this opponent look like King Kong, and just, hey, they're another football team. Yeah, they've got great players, but if we go execute and do what we're supposed to do, we give ourselves a chance coming up this week.
Yeah, I think you kind of said it, especially like in the meeting rooms and everything, making it more about Navy than Memphis. Just knowing we go out, we practice, we work on what we need to work on every day. So as long as we don't beat ourselves and we play how Navy play, we give ourselves a good chance to come out victorious.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, we'll make one more trip around. Scott Wyckoff.
Deshaun, what has it meant for you to started in the defense?
You said wrong name. You said Deshaun.
Oh,
I got Ray.
Yeah. What has it meant for you to be playing with Deshaun and Embiid this your senior year? You guys, all three starters together again.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Obviously, like being out there with guys that you've had experience with, and then not only that, but being out there like with your good friends and stuff like that. Like we hang out, we talk throughout the days and pretty much everything like that. So it's like just being able to be out there with somebody you trust so much and that you're close to, knowing that they're gonna give their all and you own it to them to give it mile and stuff like that. So it's awesome.
And how enjoyable is it for you this senior year that you've played so much football at Navy and you've done so much academically on campus, the comfort level that you have and enjoyment for the game, this being your senior year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, just being able to be out there and see, and also just see like how far not only I've come, but really my whole class, like how we were in plebe summer, plebe year, and just fast forward to now and how well we're doing, how well we know each other, how good we lead is it's a great feeling.
And how's your brother's football career coming along?
It's pretty cool. He got some defensive snaps in their first game against West Virginia. So that was pretty cool. He also plays on kickoff. So it's pretty cool to watch the progression. He talks to me about practice and everything. I watch his practices and stuff like that when I can, give him little tips and tricks and stuff like that. But it's cool to just see his maturity and see how he's growing up so far.
And also, how neat is that both brothers have been contributors beginning in their freshman year in their careers?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Just being able to bounce ideas off of each other's head and stuff like that. And obviously from mom, dad, obviously like they're really proud, they're really happy. But yeah, it's cool.
Thanks.
Wags.
Ray, can you talk about wearing the green dot and communicating with Coach Volker? What's that been like?
It's pretty cool. I mean, it just makes everything really that much faster. Instead of having to waiting to see what the play call is, just being able to hear it right from the headset. And to get the call then, and then also The green dot is cool, but I would say one thing, like I talked about earlier, just understanding kind of how we want to attack their offense, being able to already just know, like, and off the top of my head, what Coach Volker might be calling and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's definitely cool. It makes communication a lot more easier, and you can focus a lot faster and stuff like that. So it's cool.
So in years past, I'm going to guess that all the defenders look to the sideline to get a call. Now you're delivering the call. Is that basically how it works without getting into state secrets?
Yeah.
So what kind of is there a very brief conversation? Is it he just reads the call to you in your ear, or do you all actually you can't talk to him, right?
Right.
Right. So is there anything else he's saying? Any other information he can relay or he wants you to relay to others on the field?
Yeah, obviously, the main thing is just a play call. But if he sees like maybe like an empty formation or anything that might catch his eye, he'll let me know.
Is it in any way distracting? I mean, this is something you've never done before. You never had a microphone and a voice in your ear while you played football out on the field. Is it weird and distracting in some levels?
Surprisingly, no. I mean, it's cool. I think I do pretty well with it, and it's not distracting.
So how would you rate your personal play through 2 games?
Um, I would say it was pretty good. I mean, obviously in the Bucknell game, as far as pass defense and stuff like that, they didn't really take any shots or anything like that. And then we moved on to Temple. They started to try to throw it a little bit more. But I think definitely in this Memphis game, we'll be able to tell a lot more because we know that they're gonna try to take shots. We know that they're gonna throw the ball and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a good game.
So you were mentioning about how you and Beatty and Deshaun have been together so long. The new guy in the secondary is Ira. I know Deshaun has taken him under his wing. Have you tried, have all the seniors tried to, help him get up to speed and make sure he's playing like a senior instead of a sophomore?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, even off the football field, like we can all talk together and hang out and just different stuff like that. So it just makes it that much easier when it comes to football, even if it's a correction or if it's a compliment or anything. Just being able to communicate with him has been good, and just watch him and how he's able to come along and learn the defense and stuff like that. So it's good.
All right, thanks, Ray. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Pete,
How are your parents dividing up the 2 guys in one place right now?
Yeah, so usually one of them comes here and then one of them goes out to Penn State. So that's how it's been so far. It's hard. Obviously, they don't like it, but they like it at the same time because they get to see both their sons. But it's like, man, I really want to see this game. He's like, but we can't both go to the same game because then we're gonna leave the other one out. But
Yeah, I get it.
so yeah.
Just technically, in terms of Jessup, are you in the Anne Arundel side of Jessup or Howard?
Howard County.
Yeah. Where would you have fed into if you not gone to Gilman?
Hammond High School.
Yeah, sure. You're playing against a quarterback, incredibly experienced. He's played a ton of snaps in this system. The system has not changed for him for 3 years now. What is it about what they do? You mentioned it earlier. Obviously, this team is going to take shots. What is it about what they do that does make them so successful when you watch them on tape?
Yeah, I think the big thing is kind of like I hit on earlier. Like they're able to spread the ball out. They got good backs and stuff like that, so they can run. They got good tight ends, which are good for possessions and stuff like that. And then they got receivers that can run deep. And you never quite know who they're going to hit on every which play. So I think that's a big part of what they do that makes them successful.
Does that mean discipline is at a supreme level this week? Trusting your eyes, trusting those keys?
Definitely this week, but always in general too. I mean, your eyes don't lie. So when you're looking at the right things, it allows you to play just that much faster. So
You obviously, can you describe what that how that's changed for you since your freshman season? You know, you get out there, everybody, you know, wants to show the coaches you're super aggressive. You want to show the coaches I can play. But can you describe how that has changed for you? And maybe the game has slowed down a little bit. And as you just said, the eyes don't lie. How has that changed for you through the years?
Yeah, so definitely I used to be what you call a ball watcher. Wherever the ball was pretty much where I wanted to be. But obviously, like as I got older, as I got more understandings and just understanding football in general, and then understanding our defense, understanding just what exactly I'm supposed to look at, and then being able to react off of that, and that obviously allows more plays to come to you when you're more focused on your specific keys and stuff like that. So that's really come along over the years.
Coach, this is the fourth year you've had the pleasure of game planning against Seth Hennigan. What makes him so special, and what makes him the type of quarterback that has taken his game up each and every year at Memphis?
You know, I think he's a complete quarterback. He's the best that we've gone against. I think he knows exactly where to go with the football based on what he sees on the field. He's quick with his release. He gets the ball to his playmakers in space. I just think they've done a great job coaching him. I think he's done a great job developing, getting himself just better and better every year. He's an accurate passer. He knows how to extend plays. To me, he's a complete quarterback, does everything that you need a quarterback to be able to do to be successful at the Division I level.
That said, what do you think the reason you guys have done so well against him in a couple games this year? I mean, you've had some.
God bless you. You think we've done well against him? That's
you held him to 10 points.
Shucks. He's a challenge to game plan, and I appreciate the kind words and things like that. But I mean, there's not been a game that we've left where we felt good about when he was done with it. So we've got to play our best football to have a chance on Saturday. It's a really, really good team with a lot of good players, with an excellent scheme that's well coached, and we got to play our best football on Saturday.
Hennigan's not. Hold on, Scott. Hennigan was not the quarterback when they scored 10 points.
That was
pre-Hennigan. That was 2020. His freshman year was 2021.
Okay.
That was the COVID year.
That was the Brady kid, right? Brady,
Yes.
Who's a good player too.
How talented is Rock Taylor as his weapon on the outside?
Extremely. There's tons of really, really athletic players in this conference, and he tops the list. I mean, he's big, he's strong. You know, we every week we put scout team guys in numbers to simulate people. We don't really have anybody that can simulate him, his size, his speed, his athleticism. He's a challenge.
And how much of a challenge is that for your defensive line in practice? When you know they're going to be going up against at least 5 guys that rotate in and out that are over 300 pounds.
Yeah, there's certainly some matchup issues across the board that we have a hard time simulating with our look team, and I think that's a really hard thing for us to simulate as coaches. Is we just don't have guys that have those size, the speed, the athleticism. To be able to simulate that as best as possible. Obviously, we got to watch a ton of film. We got to show them what they're going to see on film. And, you know, fortunately, we've gone up against big guys over the years. So I think they have a little bit of knowledge of what it's going to be like. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to be exactly the same. I think we all understand that and know that. But you're able to draw on those past experiences to have an idea of what it may be like.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott.
Bill Wagner.
Good to see you, Coach Volk.
Pleasure.
Well, so yeah, that was Brady White in 2020. Yes. Since Hennigan's been there, they put up 400 yards one game, 516 in 2022, and then last year you held them down points wise to 28 points, but they still have over 400 yards. This is the one team in the American Athletic Conference that Navy has had some problems defending. how do you change that narrative?
And we gotta play our very best to have a shot. And we all know that may not even be good enough. We've got to go out there and play the best football that we've played to date this year. And I think understanding that as players, understanding that as coaches is paramount for us to go out there and have some success. Is that we've got to go out there and play really, really clean, inspired Navy football.
So do you and Coach Newberry kind of have a chip on your shoulder when it comes to Memphis based on the fact that they've gotten you more times than not since you've been here?
Wags, you know me, I sort of
you've had a chip on your shoulder since grade school.
Most days. It doesn't really pertain to any one person, place, anything like that. That's just sort of how our mantra is. That's sort of how we operate.
So what do you feel is the key to kind of containing this offense? Is there anything in particular that you kind of got marked on the blackboard as keys without giving away state secrets?
I think any game, any big game, they're all big games. So they come down to fundamentals. It comes down to tackling, block destruction, making sure that you're playing really clean football. You're great with your eyes. Our communication's on point. I know it's not the sexiest thing to say, but it doesn't come down to the X's and O's or anything like that. It comes down to playing great fundamental football, and that's really where we have to be. We have to play great fundamental football on Saturday.
So Hennigan, as a 4-year starter, he's seen it all. It's probably hard to rattle him, but at the same time, do you feel that pressure is important, that you've got to try to make him uncomfortable? And, I know Coach News, he's not, running. You don't consider Seth a running quarterback, but he's, savvy when it comes to when he needs to run. He does the job.
Shoot, he ran a touchdown against us last year. I think he's an exceptional football player and plays the game the right way. He's a major challenge for us. The offensive line, the tight end, the receivers, the running backs, they're all a challenge for us. And we've got to play. I know I've said it before, but we've got to play clean, fundamental football. And it doesn't matter what call it is in, whether we drop all 11 or rush all 11 or anywhere in between. We've got to execute at a high level. We've got to do a great job getting on edges. We've got to do a great job with our block destruction, bringing our back arm through. We got to do a great job leveraging the ball, maintaining our leverage, taking space and tackling and getting ball carriers on the ground. And I know that it sounds easy, but these guys make it really hard for you in terms of that.
So I think Cramp's been the O coordinator there for at least three seasons. Is that correct? I'll have to check. But I mean,
yeah, he's been there. He's been there.
Yeah, this is the guy you've been game planning against. Is his offense pretty much the same as it's been, since Hennigan's been the quarterback, or are they doing anything different, PJ?
Shoot, he's as good as they get in football. I mean, I think he does an amazing job. He prides himself on getting his playmakers the ball in space, does an excellent job with that. They're diverse in the run game. They're diverse in the passing game. They find ways to, again, get playmakers the ball in space, feed the hot hand, whatever it is that the game dictates. He does a great job calling games, and he's been an excellent play caller. And his system, it always is evolving, which all great coordinators do. They always are finding new wrinkles and new things to take advantage of whatever the defense is giving them or what their players do best. And I think he does a great job with that.
Thanks, PJ.
Thanks, Wags.
Wags, is that the new style of buttoning the top button on a golf shirt?
Just trying to look proper for Coach Volker's press conference.
Scott Wyckoff.
Look better than me, man.
What does it mean for you to have a leader on defense in a game like this, like a Ray Lane, who we talked to, and he was just fired up for the challenge, just excited, really wants to go against a top offense and wants to see that ball in the air and wants to go after it?
Yeah, I mean, experience is critical. You know, being under the bright lights, you know, having been there before, I think is amazing for anybody that's been out there. And you know, these games, every game's a big game. You know, we talk to our guys about playing nameless, faceless opponents. You know, this week is a big week because it's the next one on the schedule. You know, and I think our guys, you know, rally around that and get inspired by that. But you know, Ray Lane in particular, he just keeps getting better and better and better. You know, and I think that's one of the things that you love to see as a coach. I think Coach Lewis does an amazing job with him, and I think Ray really loves going out there and practicing football and then getting better at football. And if there's anything you know about Ray Lane, he loves to compete. He loves to compete, and obviously this is a monster challenge for us this week, and I know he and a lot of the guys are fired up about the opportunity that we have in front of us.
What does the energy from the brigade mean for your defense, the way that they can bring it in these home games?
Man, the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium rocking, there's nothing better in college football. You know, to see the brigade out there jumping around and obviously doing push-ups and everybody getting excited there. I think that's what college football is all about. You know, I've coached in other places where you don't have that atmosphere on game day, and we talked about, you got to BYOJ, you got to bring your own juice. You know, the brigade does an amazing job just pumping juice into the stadium and making college football so special and Navy college football so special. I can't tell you how many games I've coached in there, but that there's not been one time where I haven't gone in there and gotten chills. Like you walk under those arches, you come out on game day, they come running out with the Navy flag, the American flag, the Marine Corps flag. You see, you know, the brigade march on the field. It's just unique. It's special. It's something that we don't take lightly at all. We want our style of play to reflect, you know, the Navy and Marine Corps community and all the people that show out on game day to support us. And there's nothing that makes us more proud than representing them in the right manner. And obviously love hearing them getting fired up and get excited, especially on third down. Love that. Love that.
It also seems like this unit, especially this season, really gets fired up for each other. When a great play is made by a defensive back, you're looking at the big boys from the defensive line running back to them, and the same way with the defensive backs. Is that something that really can make a difference in a game like this?
Yeah, I think cohesiveness is critical. And one of the things we've preached since we got here is when one of us makes a play, we all make a play. And victory is produced and shared by all. And it doesn't matter if you're, you know, eighth string and injured or you're the starter. Like, we all have a hand in our success, and we're all connected in an extension of each other. And to hear you say that as a coach, like, that's the stuff that fires us up, because that's what we want from our football team. That's what we want from our defense, is that we have genuine excitement for everything that happens out there for our unit and for our football team.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Scott.
Saturday will be your 31st game coached at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium.
That's crazy, man. That's nuts. It goes
Wags.
fast. It flies when you're having fun.
Yes, sir. Wags.
I was asking Ray a little bit about the helmet communication. How's that going for you, PJ? I mean, is something new, something different 2 games in? How's it going?
Yeah, I got to give credit to Greg Morgenthaler and our equipment staff. I think they've done an amazing job getting those things set up. We came in several times in the summer and met with the company that was doing it all to talk about exactly how it was going to work out, what it was going to be like. Obviously talked to several coaches in the NFL about what it's like. And now it's sort of become second nature at this point. At first it was a little like, what the heck is going on here? But now it's really become second nature because we do it every day at practice, so we've done it for months now. And I think it's been great. And Ray is exceptional at it. We tried it on a lot of different players. I have moved it around on a lot of different guys. At practice, you can have it on a few different people. But he's been exceptional at it. I think he does an amazing job with it. And I think if you asked him, if he was truthful, he probably told you in the summer when we went over it, he was like, man, I don't want that thing. And then after the first practice, he was like, yeah, make sure that's on me. I really like that. So he's really enjoyed it, and he's done a great job with what we've asked him to do with it.
Well, Ray said that he obviously the number one thing is you're giving the play call that he then communicates to the rest of the defense. What else do you try to, cram into whatever amount of like how many, if it gets turned off at 15 seconds, what's the play clock?
40.
So you got 25 seconds to talk to him. What else are you trying to communicate during that time?
Just any quick coaching point that's necessary. I do not, we went and we had the opportunity to go visit with the Navy SEALs and talk to them about leadership and really learn from them about leadership. And one of the things that really stuck with our coaching staff and myself in particular was just when they debrief, when they talk about what they're doing, it was just brief, brilliant, gone. You don't want to give them too much to chew on in terms of the message. You need to give quick, concise information and then be done with it. And in my estimation, less is more. So, we may talk about what the down and distance is, what maybe we're thinking in this situation, or maybe it's simply, hey, get the guys going here, next play, 1-0 mentality, something along those lines, and then give them the play call and go from there.
Kind of a two-part question on that. Formationally, you're up top, so you can tell Ray, empty backfield 3 wide. Are you doing that? Do you feel like he can see that himself? And then B, are you finding out that teams are motioning after the 15 seconds or under 15 seconds, so you can't tell your guy the formation?
Yeah, so I'm on the field, but we do have those conversations, and everything's a little bit differently. We go through and study those things weekly on when people like to snap the ball in particular, when they shift, they motion, they trade, they do all those things. And every team's a little bit different in terms of those things. But yeah, there is, just like it's been in the NFL, it's the same thing in college, is that communication cuts off at that point. And you have to go back to, your eyes and your training and all those types of things. And luckily we've got a guy in Ray that's seen a lot out there and understands what's going on, understands the issues. And I think our defensive backfield in particular does a really good job with that.
So remind me, is Memphis do a lot of no huddle and hurry up?
Yeah, at times that they vary their tempos. They do a really good job with basically everything they do. It's a wonderfully constructed offense with very talented players. I think they do a great job varying tempos. They do a great job with a lot of different things that make it challenging for defenses.
Last thing for me, can you talk about the defensive line as a whole? There was some sequences against Temple where the defensive line was getting pressure and causing havoc all on its own without bringing blitzes. Justin Reed gets in there, and I think he may have had a sack or a hurry. You had Kendall Whiteside could have almost had an interception. He was in there in the quarterback space and damn near got an interception. Landon's chasing people around. I mean, when going back, their defensive line made some plays against Temple.
It all starts up front for us defensively. Like we have to take care of the big guys, and they got to take care of everybody else. And I thought they were ready to play. They played with an attitude. They were on edge. We had one sack in the football game, but we hit the quarterback and knocked him down 12 more times. Those are big plays in the football game for us defensively. But I thought Coach Hall had his bunch ready to play from the get-go, and I don't mean just Saturday afternoon. I mean he had them ready on Monday. They were ready to go, and just kept getting better and better throughout the week. And we need those guys to play at a high level. And just because they did it once doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to do it again. We've got to have them show back up on edge and be ready to play. But I thought they were exceptional against Temple, and we need them to be that way for us to have success.